Today's video, I'm kicking off a new series where we make NHL predictions for the 2018 and 19 season. Today I'm going to give you 5 bold predictions on things we're going to see during the upcoming year. And that's coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams. So if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So as I mentioned off the top here, today I'm doing some NHL predictions. We're launching a new series, so I'm going to be predicting various aspects of the game here in the coming days and weeks leading up to the NHL season. I thought this would be a fun series to do, something we can all discuss. You can leave your predictions in the comments, and it should be just something fun we can discuss here leading into the season, and something we can look back on once the season ends to see if any of us were right or just how insightful we actually ended up being. So for today, I'm going to give you 5 bold predictions on things we're going to see during this season. I am going to be doing subsequent videos predicting other aspects of the game, such as standings predictions. So I'm going to do a video for each division, predicting where I think each team is going to finish. I'm going to do another video predicting some of the NHL award winners. I also plan on doing a playoff prediction video as well, predicting which 16 teams make the playoffs, predicting round by round with the eventual Stanley Cup winner being predicted as well. So it's just something fun we can look back on later just to see how right or how wrong we actually were. Predictions are really hard to do. I don't expect to get a whole lot right. It's really just for fun. You can leave your comments down below what you think, and it should just be a fun discussion for us to do here as a community. If there's anything else you can think of that you'd like me to predict and that you think would be fun for us all here to discuss, certainly let me know down in the comments and I'll consider adding it to the playlist. So let's jump in here. 5 bold predictions from Top Shelf Hockey for things you're going to see during the 2018-19 season. Number 5, it's going to be one of the busiest and craziest trade deadlines we've seen in a long time. We have a lot of NHL superstars that are in their final year of their contract. We have many that have had trade speculation swirling around them for weeks and months now, and obviously a lot of these deals have yet to happen. Obviously the season hasn't officially kicked off, so some things here could happen before the season starts or early in the year, but I think a lot of this is going to drag on to the NHL trade deadline, and we're going to see a lot of big name players change uniforms in February once the deadline kicks in here. I mean, we've got guys like Erik Karlsson, Max Pacioretty, they're the 2 big ones. You know, Artemi Panarin's another. Depending on how these teams do during the season, they may have to pull the trigger here and get a deal done. And I think this year, not only at the deadline, but throughout the year, we're going to see more trades and certainly have a much busier and more active period in this part of the game than we've seen in a long time. There's also a lot of 2019 NHL free agents, besides the guys that have already had trade speculation around them, that are going to be playing for new contracts. And if contract negotiations aren't going well, I could certainly see some of these teams, maybe hitting the panic button and moving them along to make sure they don't lose them for nothing in free agency. I mean, there's a lot of other guys out there like Matt Duchene, Mark Stone, Tyler Seguin, just to name a few. There's a lot of other ones too. Like the long list here of 2019 free agents as of right now, it looks like a pretty strong class. So obviously, some of these guys may get locked up ahead of time, but at this point, it looks like a lot of them will make it to free agency next summer. So obviously, I think we're going to see a ton of trades during the 18-19 season. Prediction number 4, a Canadian team will finish at the bottom of the league at number 31 in the standings, but it will not be the Montreal Canadiens or the Ottawa Senators. I've seen many people's prediction videos as well as many articles predicting their results here for the upcoming 18-19 season, and just about everybody's left these 2 teams for dead and automatically presumes they're going to be in the basement. I disagree. I think there's going to be another Canadian team that's going to do worse than the Habs or the Senators, and I do think that the Habs and Sens are both going to surprise people a little bit this year. Now, I'm not going to go as far to say they're going to be a playoff team and do an absolutely awesome season. However, I will say this. I think the Montreal Canadiens can bounce back. A lot of that depends on Carey Price. If he can get back to his form, which I think he can. I mean, at one point here, not too long ago, he was considered the best goalie in the world. If he can even come close to that form, Montreal is going to be able to shore up a lot of those holes on defense and certainly keep the puck out of the net more and win some more games. I'm not convinced they're going to be a playoff team. I still think there's some other areas of the team that needs to continue to get better here. But for right now, I do think they can bounce back and at least be a little bit closer and a little bit more respectable than they were last year. Same goes for the Ottawa Senators. At this point in time, Ottawa, has been pretty much written off by just about everybody. Like I said, again, I don't necessarily see them being a playoff team. I'm not going to be that bold here with these predictions. However, I do think that they're going to have a lot to play for. You've got a lot of guys on short-term contracts. You've got Erik Karlsson, if he starts the season in Ottawa, if this trade does not go down, at least not yet, He's playing for a contract, and one, he's out to prove everybody that he's still the best defenseman in the world. I'm sure he's incredibly unhappy with his results from last season. And like I said, he's going into a contract year, so you know you're going to see the best hockey from Erik Karlsson if he's still in a Sens uniform. You've got other guys in Ottawa too, like that are really good, strong players playing for contracts too, like Mark Stone and Matt Duchene and even Ryan Dzingel, Cody Ceci. So I do think that you're going to see that the best hockey come out of these guys. Even though there's not a great situation in Ottawa, I do think you're going to see some better performances than you expect. And even though I don't expect them to be a playoff team this year, I don't think they're going to be in the basement either. When we do the videos here coming up soon on the standings predictions, you'll see which team I think will be dead last. In the NHL, it will be a Canadian team, but the prediction for today is that a Canadian team will finish last, but it's not Montreal or Ottawa. Number 3, last year we saw the Colorado Avalanche and the New Jersey Devils rise from the bottom of the league and become very respectable, exciting, and fun teams to watch again. Both made playoff appearances as wildcard teams, and they certainly turned their franchises completely around. In Colorado's case, it was even more dramatic. The year-over-year improvements were so substantial, it was absolutely crazy. This year, I do expect another team to kind of take over from those clubs last year and be the new team to rise up here and really improve their results and work their way up the standings, and that's going to be the Arizona Coyotes. Now, I haven't quite determined just how high their ceiling is and how far they're going to go, but Arizona is going to drastically improve this year, and they will, at the very least, be in the mix for a playoff spot as we approach the end of the season. Number 2. There will be 3 players in the NHL hit 50 goals this year. Now, last year we saw Alex Ovechkin win the Rocket Richard Trophy yet again, but he fell short of 50 goals as well. I do think scoring is going to continue to be on the rise this year. Last year in the NHL, scoring was up, and I think that's going to continue. Not drastically like we saw last year, but I do see scoring continue to rise a little bit. And we have some younger players that are absolutely in a position and poised to really break through and really come closer to hitting their ceilings. So I'm going to predict that there's going to be 3 players hit 50 goals this season. I will tell you who I think those 3 players are going to be, but I'm not going to tell you what order I think they're going to finish in. We'll save that for the prediction video I do on trophies, and I'll tell you who I think will win the Rocket Richard. But the 3 players that are going to hit 50 goals this year, there's Patrick Laine, the Winnipeg Jets, Austin Matthews of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and then Alex Ovechkin is going to do it again as well for the Washington Capitals. My number 1 most bold prediction here for today is that the Stanley Cup is going to return to Canada. This is the year. It's long overdue. All of our Canadian teams have been fighting hard to bring this cup to Canada for a long, long time. Now, I realize there's not a lot of teams that look to be strong contenders for the Stanley Cup. Out of the 7 Canadian teams, at least 3, maybe 4 get into the playoffs, and one of them is going to bring home Lord Stanley's Cup. I'm not going to tell you right now who I think is going to win the Stanley Cup. We'll save that for the prediction video that I do up here for the playoffs. But this is the year I'm predicting that Lord Stanley's Cup comes back to Canada. So those are my 5 bold predictions for today for the upcoming 18-19 NHL season. I'd love to hear your thoughts on my predictions and what yours are. So certainly leave some comments down below. Let me know what your bold predictions are going to be for the upcoming season. If you're new to the channel here, I hope you consider subscribing. We cover all 31 NHL teams, and there's plenty of content here for all hockey fans to enjoy. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button as well. I'd appreciate it if you did. As always, thank you very much for watching, everybody. We will catch you next time.